Our first objective is to create a silicone rubber mold from a master pattern, which we will later use to cast numerous duplicate models in our HD material. We start off by getting our masters ready to be molded. We have 5 masters in this demonstration, all made from different materials, starting off with this yellow pattern, which was created using an EnvisionTEC rapid prototyping machine. We also have this purple pattern, which was created in the Viper rapid prototyping machine. Our third pattern was cast out of our new HD material. We included this to show how well the HD material works as a second generation master pattern for the creation of rubber molds. Our fourth pattern is a metal pattern that has been hand fabricated. And finally, our fifth and last pattern was milled from the new ProtoWizard wax, especially formulated for machining jewelry patterns. Regardless of whatever material we use as our master, some touch-up may be necessary. The smoother the pattern is, the cleaner the mold is going to be, and the cleaner the subsequent HD models will be. With most stereolithography patterns, there will be some striation that can be improved or eliminated with progressive grades of polishing papers. The HD material, shown here, is very easy to clean up. Here we have a silicone wheel that has been impregnated with pumice. HD material also cleans up nicely with polishing papers, discs, or films, even achieving a high polish if that is what is desired. Next, we attach a 1/8 inch sprue and a sprue form base to each pattern. Sticky wax works best to create a mechanical bond with stereolithographic materials or the HD material. Our sprue form bases are made of either small brass hemispheres, cones, or even plastic beads. They will act as reservoirs and an entry point of the HD material into the mold. Again, we use sticky wax to secure the height and location of the sprue former and to attach the master pattern. We are going to use the HD multiple mold frame to create 4 of our molds at once. The bottom of the mold has a row of 1/8 inch holes that allow for many different configurations. Here we are applying clear tape over those holes to prevent silicone from entering any of those holes not being used to hold a master pattern. This will make demolding and cleaning up easier. Next, we use a marker to mark the holes that we will be using to secure the patterns. Then we open up the marked holes in the tape, which allows for the sprue former to go in easily. Next, we install the patterns onto the mold frame, again using sticky wax to help secure the sprue in the holes. Now that our 4 masters are in place, we're going to do just a little bit of touch-up with wax to prevent any shifting of the masters when they are submerged in silicone rubber. We close the sides of our frame and tighten the thumb screws, making sure the sides are 90 degrees from the mold bottom. Then we drop our glass plates in the appropriate slots. Now we are ready to fill the mold with silicone rubber. HD clear silicone rubber comes in a user-friendly cartridge that eliminates the need to precisely measure, mix, and vacuum degas the material in order to obtain optimal results. Here we are loading the cartridge into the gun. For ease of dispensing, we want to use a fairly heavy-duty gun, one with a high mechanical advantage such as the one included in the HD kit. We remove the cap and then dispense a small amount of material onto a paper towel or disposable cloth to make sure that it is dispensing properly. This is even more important if the cartridge has been used before, because you'll find that some of the material has cured at the tip and needs to be discarded. Next, we apply the static mixing tube, making sure that it is tight. We tip the mold over and start to fill at an angle, as you see here. We dispense a small amount into each mold at first, and let gravity help to flow the material and eventually surround the model. The quantity of material in a cartridge is enough to fill all of these molds to full height of the molded frame. More importantly, this system provides us with properly measured and mixed material with virtually no probability for error. There is also no wasted mold material in a mixing bowl and no contaminants from mixing tools. Here you see us filling a single mold cavity surrounding our orange wax master pattern. This mold is similar to the mold frame that is included in the HD kit. Now we're showing a close-up of our recently filled mold. Note the small bubbles that formed as we dispensed the silicone. Most, if not all, the bubbles will rise up on their own. We do not need to vacuum degas this mold as we would have had we mixed the silicone rubber manually. However, for best results, we do recommend placing the mold in a pressure pot set at 20 to 40 psi while the material cures. A cold wax pot works great as well. The greater the pressure we apply, the better it is to dissolve or crush the bubbles down. It is important that we leave the pressure on until the rubber has fully cured, which usually takes 14 to 16 hours. Accelerated curing of the mold is possible with the addition of heat. 2-hour curing is possible by raising the mold temperature to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. This can be accomplished in an empty wax pot with an accurate thermostat. Make sure the mold frame and patterns will withstand this temperature before attempting an accelerated cure, and note that the optical clarity of the mold may suffer from this approach. After 14 hours, we remove the silicone rubber mold, which is now fully cured. We loosen the thumb screws and pull apart the sides of the mold. Then, we separate and remove each piece of glass and each mold. Notice how the bubbles are gone from the mold, which is the result of the proper application of the silicone rubber material and the use of a pressure pot. Now it is time to cut the mold. First, we remove the sprue former. Then we get a fresh scalpel blade. It is important to use a fresh scalpel blade, which will increase the speed and precision of the process. We make successive cuts going deeper into the mold. This mold cutting style is a little different than you might normally follow with wax because the material is so much stronger. Here we work from one side of the ring rather than having to work to put the parting line exactly down the center of the pattern for strength issues. Carefully planning the mold parting line will minimize seam lines in the models as well as aid in filling and demolding. Each manual cut creates a unique registration pattern, ensuring precise alignment when reconnecting the two mold halves later. One of the greatest features of the HD silicone rubber material is the flexibility, allowing you to really pull back on the mold itself, thus exposing the area for easy cutting around complex areas of the pattern.